I'm looking for a change and I try, but I can't find it. I'm looking for justice. I'm looking for a peace, but these guns on the streets keep talking. Why can't we be finding peace? Why can't we be ending all the...
This is real racism is on sight. It's when I see you, I let your ass know. I call you a name, I call you a nigger, I call you whatever until you get the fuck. I'm really like mean with that shit in your face. That's real racism. These niggas out here are crying, dude. If they knew anything about their ancestors or back in the 60s, whatever, they should know that none of this shit, dude, is racism at all, dude. It's just an excuse as to not really rise up as black males and form an army in order to stop these things from happening. They're just talking. Talking. They don't want to form an army. They don't want to go and look at that. Now let's get away from the revolution, right? A lot of people are scared of revolution. And what all revolution does is be able to help you understand to fight. You have to be willing to fight and die to change certain issues and ills in your community or has happened to your family. You have to really go through that. If anybody wants true freedom and true independence and ability to love freely, right, you may have to be willing to fight and die for that shit. That's how you obtain it, and that's how you get it. That's how you get liberation for your nation, liberation for your community, liberation for your family. You have to have that mindset. I am willing to fight and die. And even if I don't get to see it, I'm fighting and willing to die so my wife is going to be able to see it, so my kids going to be able to see it, so my great-grandkids is going to see it. That type of mentality. This is what gets you your goals accomplished. This is what solves the problem. And it's all about thought, action, and behavior. So one of the accused was like, well, how do you deal with mass incarceration in the prison system, right? You know, we're going to slide away from racism for a quick second. We're going to look at some of the problems that's going on in the black community that affects the black family and the black male is prison. We all know what prison does to a black family, to any family, but let's be specific about the black family, right? So what needs to happen to stop the males from going to prison? What is the trap to get you to prison? Now, you have thought, you have action, you have behavior. If the black male thought differently, if he act differently, and he behaved differently, then he may not go to prison. And I'm not talking about people who innocently convicted of crimes, like innocent people who got convicted or wrongly convicted people. I'm setting them aside, right? I'm not talking about that. I am talking about people who are willing to gamble their freedom to achieve something, right? So they're willing to gamble their freedom, right? To be able to achieve something. And a lot of the times it's material items. It's not to be able to achieve liberation, right? Going to prison to achieving liberation of your people feels a lot different from going to prison from robbing a store. So that's two different things. So the thing is, it's changing your thought, changing your action, changing your behavior. And the way you do that is get wrapped into your God-given purpose. We all know that if you're from the hood, if you're from the ghetto, and you grew up in this shit, and just say you got an opportunity, right? You got an opportunity to work at a bank, that nobody really gets to go to that bank that's of your color, right? And you get an opportunity, and that opportunity, you can envision that in your brain, be like, man, if I get this job, man, my life is going to change. I'll be able to help my mom. I'll be able to help my kids. Like, you see all that. You can envision all that by you participating in this opportunity, right? You are going to change the way you think, the way you act, and the way you behave in order to experience the new opportunity. You're not going to be the same, right? You're going to change. So this is what I'm trying to tell them is you have to change your mind. That's revolution. Change your mind. Change your thoughts. Change the way you act to certain things and react to certain things. Change your behavior. Things like that. And then you have that code of ethics system, right? You have that behavioral system, right? And then you apply that to your God-given purpose. And work on that and see how that transforms your life to be something way, way better. The prison system can't exist unless you have people committing crimes. So what if you looked at this great nation and not look at this nation from a racial lens? Look at this nation from accomplishing goals lens. Take out the skin color. Look at what Martin Luther King said. Don't judge by the skin color, judge by the content of the character. Don't just look at skin color and say like, oh, you a bad person, blah, 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 and not look at the content of the character. Look at the character and the resources that people you interact with and see if you can accomplish your God-given purpose or you can accomplish a goal and objective in this world. Umar Johnson do not have any solutions. He don't. Anything that he suggests does not work and he does not apply them himself. So he doesn't really believe in the solutions. You know what I mean? If you really believe in the solution, you are willing to fight and die by the belief. You're going to test it on yourself. You're going to test it on your certain, you know what I mean? You're going to test it on your own life. If you really believe in it before you give it to the people. See, racism, like, what kind of you say? Racism is like an invisible wall or whatever. Like, if you are on it, man, like my family's from St. Louis, man. I grew up in Milwaukee. There is no way, we gonna let anybody whether they a white person at that, stop us from trying to accomplish our goal. We're gonna try to figure out a way. Ain't that what them old slaves used to do before they ran off the plantation? They gonna figure it out, man. They ain't gonna be sitting around blaming no white man, dude, or none of that shit. Talking about, oh, the white man's doing this or this person. No, they gonna find a way, dude. That's how we was raised over here. We gonna find a way. Right? We're gonna find a way. It may be violent or it may be non-violent, but you shouldn't be in our way in the first place. Because if you're in our way, it is unrighteous. Right? So we understand that. So we're going to find a way of still getting it done. You know what I'm saying? My mom, my auntie, they had daycare centers. You think that because a white person said they couldn't do this or put this restriction that they just lay down and it's like, you know what? I'm just going to give up on the goal. I'm going to give up on the objective. I'm not going to keep trying. No, man. See, those are black males talking about. Umar, cry all the time about what somebody else took from somebody. But he ain't taking nothing back from them. And he know he love white people. So he can sit on these platforms and these podcasts and y'all can continue to waste y'all time listening over and over again to the same shit over and over. Find solutions. I wouldn't even give a fuck about no goddamn racism, man. This ain't the 1700s no more. You know what I'm saying? This ain't the 1700s no more. You can go outside and do certain things and shit. You know what I'm saying? To make things happen. Your God-given purpose, you know what I'm saying, is going to lead you to the direction you need to do. And some of them things is going to be taken away from you. Them options taken away from you by God already. Once you submit and surrender to the goal, submit and surrender to the talents and to the purpose of what you're supposed to do when you know you're supposed to do it. Farrakhan, Omar, 19 Keys, all these people, they don't have no solutions to do because solutions are individualized, right? They're not collective. The same, the same thing is I'm not going to be effective for a whole group of people. It's going to be based on your individual life. Because I was never a victim of no goddamn racism. Never. Ever. I do not remember no white man ever tell me, you know who I remember stopping me? Black people stopping me. That's what I remember. You know what I'm saying? People who say that they love you is the one that's stopping you. People who you think, having your best interest at heart and everything like that, those are the people stopping you. It's never been no white person for me. And for a million other people listening to this, you know, you ain't been a victim of racism by any culture. It's usually just been you. People just lazy. People don't want to fight and die no more. You know what I'm saying? When we look at Black Revolution and when we look at all these different people, Black people that we worship every goddamn day and shit like that, if you really, really looked at it in their life, right? All the way to the 1600s. We got Black History Month, you know what I'm saying, every year. Look at every single person you worship. Do you think they stopped and surrendered to racism? Or do you think they kept going? All your heroes. Can you find any of your heroes that said, you know what, I quit because there was racism in America? Nope, I didn't keep going. Nope, that's it for me. Did you hear any of them? Did any of them say that? Do you read any of that in their story? Do you read all your heroes that you worship every day? Have any of them ever laid down the racism? Didn't they find a way? Those are the revolutionaries right there. See, all y'all heroes are revolutionaries.